a comic book writer, you've got one of those great chunks of dialogue. Don't put it on, don't try to rush it. You know, romance it. Give it 2 or 3 pages if you like. You know, give it multiple panels. You don't have an actor, you have an artist. Let the artist really just dig into that character and show that, you know, those expressions and stuff like that.
Because there's this one, so I don't know how many of you here are artists who are looking to, you know, do that. Okay, the key is here. If you're going to be the artist and you're working with a writer, give them those little things that maybe they're looking for, but they didn't really expect. Because like one of these great panels was Dan Slott when he did Sensational She-Hulk a few years ago. Jennifer Walters is jogging through Central Park, and at this point in time, she needs a little gamma charger to really, you know, to turn into She-Hulk. And she sees these 2 thugs beating up this other jogger. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna take care of them. And she goes turn into She-Hulk. And there's this one panel where she has this great panicked look on her face. She's frustrated. She's like just tapping her little gamma discharger, complaining that it's not working. And it's just one panel. But it's that little tiny thing where just the look of frustration on her face, it's like, okay, that's what the writer was going for. You know, he sits there and says, she looks frustrated. But it's up to you to really bring out. So in that respect, when we're talking about, you know, the difference between comic books and screenplays, the artist is, you know, the cinematographer, the editor, and the actor, because they're putting all that visual stuff I have there. And so it helps, you know, I mean, obviously artists think visually, they have to, otherwise art's probably pretty lame. But it helps if you're a writer to think visually as well. That you know, once again, you sit there and you say, how is this a good transition? When you're having a conversation, you know, watch movies. Sit there and say, oh, that's an over-the-shoulder shot. Awesome. It works great in comic books. I love it. Because then all you have to do is draw like one dude off on the side here. It's like a little bit of profile, 3/4 profile here, and you have the conversation. You know,
and it's not as boring as having, again, look at movies. How often do you have 2 people staring at each other face to face? I mean, it can be dramatic, but it gets real boring. And in a fight scene, you never have someone who just punches the other guy in the snout unless it's for comedic purposes. So when you're drawing your comic book, stay away from straight profiles, please. Unless you want it to be deliberately boring and funny, in which case it works great. You don't want to do anything by accident. Trust me, it's embarrassing.
so I mean, we have a few minutes here. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up our little thing in the next 5 minutes, and we'll open up to questions. But essentially, in terms of structure, you're going to want to adhere to about a 3 or 4 act structure, depending on what you're used to writing to. 3 act is probably the simplest to adhere to. And no matter if it's 3 issues, 12 issues, however many you feel like, never end an act in the middle of an issue. You'll just confuse people. That's number 1. Number 2, never put a cliffhanger on an odd number page.
Always on odd.
Or end it.
Yeah, end it on odd. Yeah, but never begin.
Yeah. Your cliffhanger should end on an odd page and on an even, because when it flips open, you give away the whole plot there.
And writing for both is a skill. They are very similar, but let's say you've created your comic book and Hollywood comes knocking, and they're like, we want you to turn in a screenplay. Do not give them your comic book screenplay. They will be mad at you. There are different formats, and what sounds good, or what reads well, will more often than not
Sound off.
sound off. present to you the Sin City movie or The Spirit.
I mean, they were visually great looking.
It's visually arresting, and you just sit there and you look at it, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is great. And had it been lettered, and you were reading that dialogue, you'd be like, man, this is so great, this is so gritty. Whoa, someone saying it just sounded comical and awful. So don't just cut and paste. You will never hear from those producers again. The key is that both of them are they're discrete and different skills. People get paid to do these things for a reason. And it's because they spend a lot of time working on it. So if you want to write screenplays and you want to write comic books, stretch those muscles. Write both. Don't expect that one is going to lend the ability to the other.
They complement.
They complement. Yeah.
And another thing too is make sure comic book more so than a screenplay. Is that in a comic book script there are going to be things that you don't know about the character, or that the reader will not know about the character that you should. If a publisher ever talks to you and says, "Hey, Captain Adam, he's awesome, but what's his family like?" The words "I don't know" should never leave your mouth. Whether or not it's in your comic book, you have an answer. You sit there and say, "Well, his mom died when he was 5. His dad, kind of drunk, he's useless. They hate each other." All right, cool, you have an answer. It may not be what he was expecting, he or she was expecting as a publisher, but you have an idea. You have an idea of what your characters are like. You have an idea about their situation. If they sit, and that's any question they have. If they sit there and say, "Captain Adam 1 through 6 was amazing. What do you have planned next?" Don't sit there and say, "I don't know. He takes on the Evil League." All right, that sounds cool. Who are the Evil League? And you go into that. You should be able to talk to that publisher or that producer until they're tired of hearing from you. You should know that stuff inside and out, because not only does it help you develop better individual characters, it helps you develop better storylines, and it gives you ideas for future story arcs. If I sit there and say, well, look, like for example, the end of Bug Root Bonsai, what is it?
The League of Evil or something.
Yeah, it's like, hey, no one knows who they were, and it never happened. There's no sequel to that. But if there had been, there would have been that little German idea that would have led to an entire movie. So know your characters, know them inside and out.
And just to give you guys a very famous but expensive example of how much saying "I don't know" can cost you. Who here has heard of Spawn and Angela? Okay, so Todd McFarlane is talking with Neil Gaiman and says, "I want you to write for Spawn." And Neil Gaiman says, "Okay, so there's only one hell Spawn. What about this period of time?" Todd McFarlane's answer, "I don't know." And so Neil Gaiman has all these questions for him. And Todd McFarlane keeps saying, "I don't know."
And Neil Gaiman is the one who comes up with those answers, and eventually it costs Todd McFarlane several $1 million.
Yep. Which Neil Gaiman then just gives away. So if you're creating it, know the answer.
Yeah.
Never say, "I don't know."
Yeah, because that's a really 3 most awful words in the world. And last, creatively, do something. I mean, it's going to sound hacky. Do what you want to read. Do what you want to see. If you're chasing trends, the audience can always go to the original. If you sit there and say, "Oh man, I love Star Wars," okay, what's stopping me from seeing Star Wars? There's no one with a gun to my head saying you're not going to watch it. I can watch it anytime I want. "Oh, I love the Magnificent Seven." Once again, I can go see the Magnificent Seven. Do those stories now. And if you sit there and it just so happens to be, "Oh no, I love," it happens to be Magnificent Seven in feudal Japan. Haha, because that's where it came from. But then that's okay. People, there are variations on things. But don't chase trends.
Yeah.
Because trends will pass you by before you can get your work out there, unless you work really quick, in which case you probably work pretty badly. There's that whole thing about you can have a good cheap work now,
Yeah.
and pick two. You will never have all three.
My favorite example of not chasing trends and basically standing your ground is all of this. Okay? 20 years ago, anyone who said, man, I'm gonna go to a comic book or a video game convention, you probably spent a lot of time in trash. But now, here we are. And there are conventions like this all over the country, all times of the year. D&D is more popular than ever. So, I mean, if you just stand your ground and stick to your guns and do what you love,
You will find that audience.
yeah, and the world will catch up to you. So, if we have any questions?
Yeah, and we got an hour, so any questions? And there are no dumb questions.
Yeah.
Sir? All right.
What kind of things should you include in outline to figure out how many issues you'll do?
In terms of like what to include in an outline, I always put down like quick character bios of all the principals. So let's just say we'll go back to the League of Evil. They may not be the main characters or even the main antagonists, but it helps to say, okay, here's Captain Neutron. He's a jerk. He kicks puppies. He eats kittens. You know, move on to next one. You know, Mistress Evil. She kicks puppies. She eats kittens. You know, I mean, obviously you want to vary it up, but I would say quick bios of all the characters just to keep them straight and make sure that they don't kind of cross-pollinate. And the major events that are going to happen.
And any like gem bits of dialogue that you just have to have that really define a character or really set the plot in motion, you should also include. But don't get too bogged down in the details. That's where your treatment comes in your first draft.
Yeah, but so it's a quick overview in an outline. Flesh out your characters. You know, give them like the more major ones. Give them about a paragraph to remind you of who they are. Minor characters, 2 or 3 sentences, I would say. And then the major plot points that you want to hit on your way to the conclusion.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in case you didn't hear that, her approach to things is to write it in sort of a prose or a novel form, and then discuss with the artist how to change that into comic book form. Again, if you've got that working relationship with your artist, good. Then it works. Then you don't need anything. There's no standard format. Not for comic books.
Now, if you're screenwriting,
There's
estimations.
Yeah, but the caveat for the comic books, everything we've said here is what works for us. If you've got a system that works, then that's great. Certainly writing in a novel. Sometimes, like for instance, I do write it in a screenplay format. I write a script, and then I bust it up into panels, and I'm like, oh goodness, I've got 5 panels per page average, which means I now have like a 70-page book. But there's any number of ways. As long as you have your story down and then you think about it visually, then you should be fine.
Another way too that I would say is if you're interested, if you're more used to having it in a prose form, highlight those important parts that if an editor took them out, you would punch them in the face, and then sit there and say, okay, so I'm having a scene where 2 characters are having coffee. Okay, that in and of itself doesn't seem horribly complex. But anyone who's read a book knows that there is an awful lot that can go on said and unsaid between two characters who are doing seemingly normal things. So figure out what is important. You know, when you visualize it, you know, what you would put there. And then that goes to the panel. You know, and then if you're sitting there saying, well, too many things are going into one panel, that's where you figure out how to cut it up.
And if you have to write it in a script format, let's say there's a foundation or something like that that you're trying to get a grant from, and they're like, we have to have your comic book, you know, script. The problem that I found when I first started writing in the script format, I was like you, I tended to write in sort of a novelized form, is just practice with the script format. A lot of what prevented me from writing in the script format was tangling with the format. The more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. It'll just be sort of second nature, and you don't have to worry about, character name, dialogue, tab. You know.
And there are books out there that talk about how to write screenplays, which with a mainly format. But even if you buy a book, like, you know, hey, here's a screenplay to Miller's Crossing or The Godfather. That certainly helps in terms of format, because then it'll teach you, you know, what is important for, you know, visually speaking, what you know, what you kind of leave out, or what is relegated to the realm of dialogue.
And also concentrate on those things that you can show. Novels allow us to sort of peer into the minds. You know, this is what he or she is thinking, and that's great. I love books, but comic books and movies are visual mediums, so you have to concentrate on those things that people can see.
Yeah,
so
it's a show, don't tell.
Yeah.
So I have to sit there and say, I'm sad. I should be able to show it, you know.
Or maybe two people don't like each other. They don't necessarily have to sit there and scream at each other all the time. Maybe they sit apart from each other, sort of like, you know, they subconsciously avoid each other. You just concentrate on those things that you can definitively and concretely see and experience, as opposed to the internal stuff.
And hopefully we answered your question.
Scott Snyder talks a lot about what's current justice movement. He talks a lot about how he wants to give everybody as much as possible for every one issue, because comics are being so expensive now.
Sure.
But you know, a lot of fans complain about, you know, there's too much going on, they have to read it a bunch of times. So I'm just kind of curious what your experience been as far as giving people their money's worth in the era where comics are now $5-6 an issue, but at the same time not overloading them too much.
It depends on what your fans are looking for.
Okay, so the question, in case you didn't hear, was Scott Snyder is talking about comics today. A lot of people complain about his style, which is he wants to give them their money's worth. A lot of people complain that his stuff is too packed, it's too crowded, and so where do we stand on that?
I would say that it depends on what story you're telling. If you're telling a superhero story, it can be as straightforward or as dense as you want. If you're writing a Game of Thrones comic book, then whoa boy, you had better make that thing pretty dense. Giving your audience their value for their book does not come down to page count.
Or word count. Or word count, not troll tickets.
Yeah, it is all about content. If you want to give them, so we had a discussion about Avengers Endgame. We have not seen it yet, so no spoilers, please. But one of our friends asked us, well, what do you want to see out of it? And the answer is, I want to see out of it something that I could not have predicted. And that's how you give your reading audience their money's worth. If you have a book, and from page 1 they know what's going to happen, well, then what's the point? You know, they did not need to buy that book. Goes with movies. The same could be said for anything. Of course, it's easier said than done. But don't make it a non sequitur. Don't sit there and say, oh my goodness, it's a Superman comic and all he did was chew gum. I could not have predicted that. Of course you did, because it's awful. But if it turns out that, you know, let's say Lois Lane was, I don't know, working with Lex Luthor. Oh, whoa, okay, well, time out. I did not see that coming. And that's how you give them their money's worth. If you give them a story that's compelling and interesting to them, then they don't care what they spend on it.
No matter how, how many panels per page there are, or, what. Just give them a good story. And once again, just be creatively honest. Don't talk down to them. Don't go over their heads. You can go a little bit over. Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe crack the dictionary open sometimes, because then they'll feel like, wow, I really put work into this now. I'm invested.
I believe we had
Is it possible to have a balance between going with the trend and doing what you want? I mean, I don't want to end up being like a starving artist versus being a sellout.
Okay, so for those of you who didn't hear, he was like, is there a nice balance between following trends and doing your own thing? And, we all want to make money doing what we're doing. It's, for some of us, it's how we keep score. For others of us, it's how we keep the lights on. And the answer is yes, absolutely. If you happen to love that thing that is popular, again, we're all at a comic book, video game, and sci-fi convention. We all love this. Being here is not, some sort of, selling out. We're not here because we're chasing a trend. Or maybe we are, and it doesn't matter.
okay, an example I'll put up. A Western in space. Now let's say Westerns are hot. Let's say sci-fi is hot. Okay. What did I just describe? Firefly. I also described
Cowboy Bebop.
Star Trek. Star Trek was exactly how that was sold, as wagon train in space. So you have all these different shows. They could not be more dissimilar other than that one little common denominator, Western in space.
Yeah.
You can do something with whatever trend is coming along. If dinosaurs are popular, hey, King Arthur on a T-Rex. All right, go you, you can be part of a trend.
Yeah.
But but let's say Star Trek is really, really popular. Okay, well, if I come out with Space Fleet, and the people wear primary colored uniforms, and they have a ship that is powered by antimatter, and they fight, muons and remulans, you're in deep trouble, dude. That is something that, don't do it. But you sit there and say, I like sci-fi. All right, cool. Do sci-fi. No one's going to kill you. Yes, sir.
I also want to add, because I know comic books always come first for the movies, but when they get the movie and it comes to you guys and you want to make that movie, how can you take from the comic books, like we had like several comic books, like all the Avengers, for example, they had like 2 to 3 chapters. How can you pretty much combine that to a 2 or 3 hour movie and still keep the good tidbits, the story, the plot, the characters, and still keep it flowing and still eye-catching and people still want to go see it?
Those of you who could hear it was, how do you take what would otherwise be a very large series of books and turn it into a 2.5 or 3 hour movie? And the quick answer to that is the producer hires a screenplay writer. And I'm not trying to be pat, but that's what they do. The screenplay writer will then take these elements that he or she thinks is important, and more often than not, turn it into something completely different. You take a look at Hellboy, for instance. Hellboy is Guillermo del Toro loved the source material. He was devoted to it. He spent a great deal of sweat and blood getting it made. And it was somewhat different from the comic book. This most recent incarnation was a little bit more, how shall we say, faithful to the source material. Hot garbage. So the answer to that is that generally speaking, what will happen is they will take a screenwriter or screenwriters to sit in a room, cut your work to pieces, find the parts that taste good, and then make something that is easily digested in 2.5 to 3 hours.
And it's typically, what it will all boil down to is themes. You know, like, okay, Iron Man, first Iron Man movie. It dealt with his origin, it touched upon his alcoholism and his fight with Obadiah Stane. Okay, well, that was like 3 different eras of Iron Man. That was, you know, Tales to Astonish, whatever, Iron Man number 200, and then Iron Man, I think it's like 176 or something like that. Yeah, it's like, we're talking 3 different decades, 3 different Iron Man suits, but they put it all into one movie. And the thing being is that the theme of that was overcoming adversity, whether it was external forces when Tony Stark was, you know, blown up in Afghanistan, or his alcoholism, or a mentor who turned out to be a business competitor. They will find those storylines, pick out those elements that fit a common theme that they can then streamline into a single script.
Or the good ones will.
Yeah,
The bad ones will make Hellboy.
So the question here is, when you're writing, how do you avoid copyright infringement? And the answer is, don't mention anything.
Yeah, don't do it.
Once again, if you're talking about, like, if you're writing a comic book and you're like, hey, here's a playlist, there's not an artist on earth who will sit there and say, man, they told people to listen to my music. That sucks. Advertise them.
Yeah.
But the minute you put down a lyric or anything like that,
You're gonna cost it.
yeah, you run into trouble. So the best thing to do on that is don't. It's a harsh answer, but it will get you into trouble if it gets to that point. Let's say you've written your novel, your comic book, your screenplay, whatever. The minute someone is willing to pay you for it is the minute that any copyright infringement becomes an issue. If you sit there and say, my friend, let's say you want to advertise your friend's book. And so you haven't, once again, we'll just go back with this, League of Evil. And so your character is reading a comic book, League of Evil. Okay. If your friend has copyrighted that, and suddenly someone's dangling 6 figures in front of you,
You're not friends anymore.
yeah, they would have to be incredibly superhuman to not sit there and say, hey, where's my cut? So don't do it. It's the simplest, easiest, most problem-free way to avoid, to address copyright issues, and that is just avoid them.
There is a contract out there that we have with, I think it's ABC, that says that if anybody tries to sue them over using our book in their TV show, that we are responsible. Now, the whole thing was that we were going to be in one of their shows, and it happened to be at a comic book convention. And so we're like, as it just so happens, we are comic book creators. Do you want to use some of our stuff? And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. No kidding. Within 2 hours, their legal department was all up in our business saying, we want documentation that you own this, and in the case you're lying to us, you get to sign all these waivers saying that you lied to us so that if anyone sues us, we're sending them straight to you. Now this book says, by John and Matt Ewan. The copyright, the trademark, everything. And even then, they were like,
You lied to us,
Best not be
skin
lying.
you alive.
Yeah. So don't do it. If you absolutely must, change every third word.
Hi, so my question is, I'm currently working on a comic book story right now, and I fleshed out the character. I know like all the details that are really obscure, but I don't want to jump into my main story like next year yet.
Okay.
What is your opinion on having like short anthologies with short stories?
They're right. Okay, so he's like, he has an original character, he's not ready to jump into the main storyline yet. What's our opinion on anthologies or short stories? And the answer is, go for it.
Yeah.
Go do it. It's amazing. We are big fans of introductory stories, like this tightly, and we're not talking, and a meteorite fell from the sky and gave us powers. It doesn't have to be that. I mean, the readers will take a lot on faith. So let's, and we don't know about your character, we'll just say you're inventing Superman, okay? You don't have to show Krypton blowing up. Here's a guy in a blue bodysuit and red cape, and he flies and has heat vision, and he's stronger than Hercules. Okay, people will accept that. So you have a story where he fights a magma monster. All right, cool. You know, but you give people the taste. If you're looking to put it out in print, one of the best things we have found, have a short introductory story, we're talking 10 to 12 pages, that you can sell for like $1. Because you get it printed in China, which, you know, whether or not you agree with their politics, I would say most people don't. It is cheap.
I would be afraid if you did. But, you know, even a full color issue can be sold for 99 cents. It's a great way to, and depending on the age range, if it's all ages, you know, kids, whatever, anyone can afford it. And never, ever give it away. Never. If you are if you're tabling, let's say here, Level Up, and you've got your book, and you're like, free comic book, free comic book, free comic book. 4 out of 5 of those are going to wind up in the garbage.
Whether it's good or not.
I mean, it can be the best thing in the world, because people they will give it value as much as they have put into it. And you charge them $1,
Or you
I'm
say,
going to throw $1 away.
yeah, or if you're going to give it away for free, say free with purchase.
Right.
You know,
They've got to buy something, and it is worth it more to you to charge them that $1 than to give it away. Because if you've ever been to San Diego Comic-Con, those poor floor sweepers sweep up more free comic books than I can even think of. It's shocking.
like, dude, the tree died for that. Come on. Yeah. Get something for it in return.
And another thing that's really great about anthology series is that if you and a bunch of friends, anyone can turn out 4 to 5 pages in a month. That's doable. Second good part is, and this is something whoever here is familiar with Matt Wagner, he did Grendel and Mage. Fabulous artist, great guy. He told us, your first 100 pages are going to stink. So if you're an artist, or if you're a writer, your first 100 pages are not going to be where you wind up professionally, or you're not where you wind up skill-wise. So an anthology is a great way to get those 100 pages, and then you dig in to the meat of your character when you're ready to, and on every level.
So yeah, anthology, go for it.
Yep.
Any other questions?
In terms of publishing your work, whether it's self-publishing or self-publishing, what are the big hurdles that you would warn anyone about? They really need to take care of?
Okay, so biggest hurdle facing publishing, whether it is self-published or through a publisher. Okay, they're actually going to be two very different things. Self-publishing is just purely down to maintaining discipline and getting your product out on a regular, timely basis. Now, we understand if you're self-publishing, chances are you're doing something, you know, as a day job. You know, there are only so many hours in a day.
But as long as it's regular, it can be every other month.
It could even be 3 months, annually. If you sit there and say, I'm going to table at a convention is a great way to give yourself a deadline if you are self-publishing. Because a convention don't care whether or not your book is done, so you better care. And then you get it done, you have something new, because nothing is worse, and hey, we've been there, than having a table where you're like, I have a book. No one cares. It looks awful. In fact, you look like you shouldn't be about to cry because you have one book. So, but if you get it regularly, it is having that discipline. And then number two, if you are self-publishing, do not spend any more than you're willing to take out of your wallet and throw in the garbage. If you have that mindset, you will be okay. Because then anything you get back is gravy. Now, if you find a publisher, the main thing you have to really, really keep an eye out for is whether or not you can trust this person.
Yeah, cover yourself legally. Yeah, this goes for Supreme plays as well.
Yeah, because we have heard way too many horror stories about, hey, I'm going to print your book. And they don't pay what they promised. Now, mind you, some publishers will be upfront and say, I'll give you comp copies. I can't afford anything else after that. And if you are willing to take that, make sure you get the number of comp copies that they promised you, because we've had friends, they had a publisher, he was like, yeah, you get 50% of all sales, you'll get, 50 comp copies, all this wonderful stuff, and none of it happened. We had another friend, his creation was pretty much taken away from him, because it's like, I need 51% of the rights, otherwise I can't represent this.
And that is
BS.
a dirty lie. Anyone who tells you that they need 51% in order to represent your work
Is looking to steal from you.
Yeah. That is not the case.
Now,
There are plenty of legal agreements that you can enter to where you sit there and say, John and Matt have my blessing to represent this in the arena of television, movies, video games, etc. They don't need 51%. They want 51% so they can do whatever they want with it. And that's where covering your butt comes in. Get a copyright. I don't care if it's a screenplay. I don't care if it's a comic book. Don't listen to anybody who tells you, oh, no, you can register it with the Writers Guild of America.
Or you can mail a copy to yourself, that's garbage. Don't do it. Get a copyright. It costs about, what, $75?
I think it's $75. Now, that is pricey, but with that copyright, you can go after damages. And that's where you make anyone who steals your work really pay. Without it, you cannot get damages. So don't do it. Get a copyright.
Okay, so the question is, what would be most beneficial, having a writer-artist team, or just having one person do both? They both have their advantages and disadvantages. If you have a writer-artist team, you're splitting up the duties, and things don't get too complicated. You can have, it makes it easier, not necessarily on the writer, but on the artist, it makes it easier. But you may have to struggle with that artist. That artist may sit there and say, hey, I'm doing most of the work, so I think this is the way the story should go. A writer-artist, you're your own boss, but there's only 24 hours in a day. So the answer is whatever you're happiest with. What you can work with, what you can draw. We have a friend, just to wrap this up real quick, we had a friend who was like, yeah, I wanted to make comic books. I know how to write. I didn't know how to draw. So this jerk taught himself how to draw. He's really good.
Yeah.
He dogs on his own art a lot, but he's really good.
Yeah.
So the answer is whatever works for you.
If you're happy with your art, you draw it. If you're happy with your writing, you do it. there is no reason why you can't do it all. It's just a matter of time. We have to wrap this up.
Yes,
the next panel's here.
but if you have any further questions, we'll be here all weekend. We're at tables, what, A62?
52 to 53.
We're in the corner.
Right next to AT&T.
Thank you guys, you were great.